Australia. Like Asia, Australia's diverse climate produce a wide variety of orchids. 12 to 1,400 species are indigenous, with 80% of these being found nowhere else in the world. By far, the largest part is desert or semi-arid, with 40% of Australia's landmass covered in sand dunes. These vast regions are home to few orchids. However, the northern part of the continent has a tropical climate varied between rainforests and grasslands. These humid zones possess a very rich flora that includes numerous epiphytic species. The southeast and southwest corners are temperate and have fertile soil. This, paired with distinct dry and rainy seasons, make a paradise for exceptionally beautiful terrestrial orchids, some of which are almost impossible to grow, but all are beautiful to look at. We're going to talk about 22 species. 11 of them are epiphytes, 11 are terrestrials. We've kind of divided it up. All are distinctively Australian. And you may grow a few of these and not even realize it's an Australian orchid. First, we're going to start with a genus that's familiar to all of us, Dendrobiums. Our first is Dendrobium bigibbum, the Cooktown orchid, as it's commonly known. This epiphyte occurs in lowland areas that have a pronounced seasonal climate in northeastern Australia and southern New Guinea. The slender purple pseudobulbs are up to 40 inches long. The leaves are at the top of the stem and are up to 5 inches long and 1 3/4 of an inch wide. The inflorescences are up to 16 inches long and bear numerous long-lasting purple flowers, each about 2 inches in diameter. Flowering is usually in autumn. The species grows best in a small pot with a well-drained mixture. A watering rest period during winter is essential. Dendrobium bigibbum has been used extensively in hybridizing of dendrobiums. If you have not grown this species, you have probably grown something with this hybridized into it. The second one we're going to look at, another very popular one for hybridizing, is Dendrobium kingianum. The pink rock orchid is a common name for this. This is one of the best known species from Australia. This is mostly a lithophytic species growing on rocks and cliff faces at low to moderate altitudes in Queensland and New South Wales. Often this orchid grows in fully exposed situations of intense light. The pseudobulbs are up to 1 foot long, though usually shorter. The inflorescences are up to 8 inches and carry up to 15 1-inch fragrant flowers that range in color from white to pink to deep mauve. You got a different one of that?
No.
That's it, okay. They appear from late winter to spring and last for up to 2 weeks. This species grows well in a shallow terracotta pot with a coarse mix. Water should be greatly reduced and fertilizer totally eliminated during winter until new growths emerge. Alright. And our third dendrobium, another biggie in hybridizing, is Dendrobium speciosum, the king orchid. This is a widespread and variable orchid distributed continuously along the eastern coast of Australia. This species grows as an epiphyte or lithophyte at low to moderate altitudes. The pseudobulbs are up to 2 feet long, so are the inflorescences, and they bear up to 100 small fragrant flowers. These are colored white to yellow and last for 2 to 3 weeks. Flowering is during late winter and spring. Several varieties of this species have been recorded, and some are regarded as separate species by some authorities. Dacrylia were once known as Dendrobium section rhizobium. We're going to talk about a few of those. Dacrylia cucumerina, or cucumerina, the cucumber orchid, or the gherkin orchid.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the growth of this plant, the actual bulb, you can see why it has that common name. Species ranges from southeast Queensland to central eastern New South Wales. It often grows on river oaks up to 2,700 feet. The plants can form large, dense clumps. The thick, fleshy leaves are up to 1 3/4 of an inch long. The racemes are up to 1 3/4 of an inch long and bear up to 10 extremely long-lasting flowers, about 2/3 of an inch across, that do not open widely. The flower color is cream with purple striping, and they appear from late spring through summer. Now, Glenn, I have heard that this is the longest lasting species of orchid flower, up to 8 to 9 months for some individual blooms. Have you heard
No, I haven't.
that or anything different from that? I've read in a couple of books that Cucamarina is the longest lasting orchid bloom, and I have seen individual blooms last for months.
Well, I've grown this, but I've never bloomed it.
Never. Well,
But it's-
I've killed it without.
But it's
blooming
not, it's
it,
neat, well,
so,
I did mention
yeah.
kill it, but it's neat, just like it is with the cucumber-looking leaves.
Yeah. Those are leaves
Very
on
cool.
pods?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were
No,
pods.
no, that's the actual leaf of the plant. All right. Dacrylia linguiformis is commonly called the tongue orchid. This species from the central eastern coast of Australia forms large mat-like colonies on rocks or trees. It grows from sea level to 3,300 feet. The leaf arises from very short stems and is oblong, fleshy, dark green, furrowed, and up to 1 3/4 of an inch long and 2/3 of an inch wide. The racemes are up to 6 inches long and bear up to 20 flowers, each about 4/5 of an inch across. Flowering is during winter and spring. You really can't see the leaves of this very well, but it really does look kind of like a ridged tongue.
Yeah, somebody at Memphis show had one of them, and it had about 600 or 700 blooms on that thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Really spectacular species when
Yeah.
when well bloomed. All right, Dacrylia rigida. Now this is one you have grown, Earl. I know.
Yeah.
This species grows from eastern Cape York Peninsula to southern New Guinea. It is a very common lowland species that grows in a variety of habitats, from mangroves to open forests. It can form large clumps up to 1 foot across. Its wiry, thin, and branching stems are initially erect but become pendulous. The leaves are up to 2.5 inches long and 2/3 of an inch wide. They are fleshy and are often tinted red in highlight situations. The inflorescences are up to 2 inches long, bear up to 7 flowers, each about 2/3 of an inch in diameter. The variable flower color is cream to yellow with red markings. Flowering is sporadic throughout the year. Flowers last 2 to 3 weeks.
And this is one that's fairly easy to bloom.